Greetings from Melbourne, a city that doesn't try too hard to impress you. And somehow, that's exactly what it does. At first glance, it might just look like another modern city. Skyscrapers, trams, busy streets. But once you start exploring, you realize Melbourne is all about what's hidden beneath the surface. This city was founded in 1835, during a time when Australia was still being rapidly settled by Europeans. And today, Melbourne is being rapidly settled by not just Europeans, but people from all corners of the earth. Instead of coming here to chase fortune, they are now here to chase Melbourne's way of life.
So, we got off to a pretty late start today as we were quite tired from yesterday. So we will start the day with a simple walking tour.
A Melbourne engineer of German and Jewish descent, and he rose the ranks to become the most famous military leader in Australian history. He led a combination of 200,000 Australian troops and 50,000 American.
Our tour guide started the tour by saying Melbourne is the best city in the world. At this point, he's still got a lot of convincing to do.
It's a bit of a shame. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head across the road. Now, when we head across the road, I need to make sure that everyone does something very important for me. I need to make sure that no one gets hit by a tram. Very important.
So this Melbourne walking tour is about showing us Melbourne beneath the surface. It's going to take us to a bunch of alleyways and back streets so that we can get a unique glimpse into what Melbourne might actually be like under the surface. For me personally, this kind of stuff is definitely not up my alley, no pun intended. But it was definitely a unique experience. You don't see many cities around the world, if any, that has so much stuff going on the walls that you could spend literally an entire day looking, observing, and reading everything, and still not be able to get beyond a couple walls. Another fun fact, Melbourne has the largest tram network in the world. So instead of subways everywhere, you'll see trams running right through the city streets. It's part of the charm, and honestly, one of the easiest ways to get around. One of the coolest things about Melbourne is its laneways. These tiny alleyways might not look like much at first, but they're packed with hidden cafes, street art, and some of the best food you'll find anywhere. You can walk past the same alleyway 10 times and still discover something new the next time. But what really makes Melbourne stand out isn't just the landmarks or history, it's the atmosphere. It's creative, a little unpredictable, and full of personality. You don't just visit Melbourne, you sort of experience it piece by piece, and that's what makes it special.
Walking on. Whoa!
No
Isn't it scary? Whoa! Oh my god!
Well, that was actually more fun than I expected. And finally, after getting my head screwed back on right and be able to walk in a straight line again, we're headed off to the next spot nearby. While ascending this very staircase and beholding what's unfolding right before my eyes, this was the moment I knew that I would forever fall in love with the city.
We're here in the heart of Melbourne. This place is called Fed Square. It's absolutely dead in the city center and just right above the river. Oh, this place is amazing. As you can see, the beautiful skyline behind me. We're surrounded by fantastic architecture, monumental churches. Melbourne is so beautiful. Melbourne is so beautiful. Makes me want to move here and start a new life here. Oh man, Australia's been great. This is our 6th day in Australia. It's been fantastic so far. Australia went above and beyond what we thought it would be in terms of food, culture, scenery, safetiness, the friendship vibe here, everything. This place is fantastic. It's really well developed. Infrastructure is amazing. You can get around everywhere by foot or public transportation. Yes, so we're about halfway through our 2 weeks journey here in Australia. I'm really so looking forward to what's next and what will be unfolding before us for the next 2 days in Melbourne and also 5 days in Sydney. Yeah.
As the sun is starting to come down, our appetites are also going up. Luckily, I have a friend who used to live in Melbourne for several years, and we're about to go to what she said is her absolute favorite restaurant in the whole city.
はい、今日の夜ご飯のお店はどこですか？アフロートです。
Afloat this.
アフロートです。
It's literally floating on the river.
そうだね。Floating on the river. アフロートです。すごいです。ハネムーンですか？
どうも。
ハネムーンナンバーワン。
一つ目。
いや。次は
好きな旅
韓
館？
国。
As you could probably tell from the expression on my face, I was visibly annoyed at the time because I was trying to order us some food and drinks and the QR code on our table wasn't working and nobody was coming to our table to take our orders. Alright, by this point, I've had enough. It's time for me to get up, walk all the way over to the kitchen and grab somebody to get them to take our orders. We've ordered some of our favorite foods in the world: fusion style tuna sushi, wood fire Italian pizza, and fried potatoes sprinkled with cheese to go with it all.
寿司。醤油につけて。
美味しいですか？
うん。美味しい。フュージョン寿司美味しいです。ミュージックもいいな。やばい、Life in Australia so good。
The quality of life here is great.
いいね。I thought this place would be like full with tourists. It
Not
seems
really.
not really.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. Most of people are locals, I think.
It's actually quite amusing watching Luiko eat this kind of sushi, or what we call fusion sushi, because fusion sushi doesn't really exist in Japan. In Japan, sushi is usually 2 to 3 ingredients at most. So Japanese sushi is not at all wild or fancy. If Japanese sushi chefs actually see the kind of sushi we're eating right now, they will go absolutely bonkers. I'm so glad I'm able to influence Luiko to eat the kind of sushi I've been eating since I was a child. The sushi I grew up eating, which is not the same sushi that she grew up eating. And apparently, she loves it just as much as I do. After that delightful dinner, I was told by Luiko to go use the toilet. Not necessarily for the toilet, but to check out the wonderful ambience that this venue has to offer. It did not disappoint at all, to say the least. If I was a resident in Melbourne, I would definitely frequent here for my business meetings, for dates, and for birthday celebrations. Upon leaving the venue to walk over to our next destination, we discovered that overlooking the restaurant, all the way over to the skyscrapers on the other side of the river, a world-class view that will certainly make or break the experience of nightlife in Melbourne. And in my personal opinion, it is definitely the former. While here on Queensbridge, I was so surprised to see that there were very few tourists here. It was mostly locals that were walking from one side of the bridge to the other while absorbing the marvelous world-class breathtaking views that Melbourne has to offer. Here on the South Bank side, you get a different perspective of the city. And you'll quickly realize that Melbourne looks beautiful regardless of which side of the river you're on. However, this side does seem a little quieter, less busy, and certainly more walkable. Well, this concludes our day 2 in the lovely city of Melbourne. Stay tuned for days 3 and 4. While walking back to our hotel, we suddenly saw some fire explosions from about a kilometer away. At first, we weren't sure what was happening, and we were a little bit concerned, so we just stayed put and started filming. But then we quickly realized that Melbourne was putting on a fire show. Come to think of it, it was Friday night after all, and this was just the beginning of a spectacular weekend in Melbourne.